Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real options trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open and ready to go so you can follow along. Make sure you have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. It helps for you to read the numbers a lot easier. Have a calculator ready so we can do some easy math. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's look at our open positions. First one up here is, it's just a bond purchase that's going to happen tomorrow, so ignore that one. Gold, we've got our gold call vertical that we opened. It's down a bunch, but again, for all these positions that are down, don't worry. We are trading November expiration, which is over 30 days away still, so don't worry about that. XOP, same thing, down a bit. We opened at 64, 65, I think, so we're down 56, but again, we've got several weeks till this has to get sorted out. It can bounce back. Macy's, we're up $40 on it. So far, so good. Coca-Cola, flat. We opened it at 32. Marcus 30. Pretty much flat. Roku, we opened at 62. We got some time on that one. And DraftKings, not bad at all. All right. We've got a lot to go over today, so let's get going. Interactive Brokers is up first. Down 4%. This is a post-earnings move. Just confirm earnings were yesterday after the close. All right. Here's our chart, down 4% today. A little bit of volume here. Remember, we're trading November expiration, 30 days till expiration right now. Not as much as I thought. Not as much liquidity as we're looking for, so we're going to skip this one. Wait for something better. Next, Morgan Stanley. They had earnings today. They're down 6.5%. So when we're looking post-earnings trades, we're looking for moves that were more than was priced into the options market, okay? And you can tell just by looking at the movement today here. We got greens here, but reds down here. So just to confirm, earnings were this morning. Here's a look at the chart. We'll zoom out here. So it's getting to the bottom of the range here. It may catch a bounce. Let's look at the put side. If you sold the 70 and bought the 65, let's get our calculators. Take 83 minus 26 and divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. 5.7%. That's not bad for Morgan Stanley. If you sold the 70, bought the 65. It's close. Let's look at the chart here really quick. We're 70 on the chart. 70's all the way down here. Doesn't mean it can't get there, but make a quick note on Morgan Stanley. Procter & Gamble's next, PG. This is a post-earnings move as well. Not a lot here, though. On the call side, you're not going to get paid for it. If you sold the 160 and bought the 165, not worth it. On the put side, if you sold the 140 and bought the 135, is it worth it? 56 minus 28 divided by 2 divided by 500, not even worth it. 2.8% return. We'll skip that. Next, let's look at United, UAL. Again, post-earnings. Down 7.5% today. Here's our chart. It's getting some support here, but it's already broken it a little. On the put side, let's skip this one. The 35 is too close, and the 30 is too far away. I don't want to be as close as the 35. And the 30, you don't get paid for it. On the call side, there's nothing there. All the post earnings volatility has been sucked out, so there's nothing to do on the call side either. Close. Let's look at Nvidia. This is not an earnings move. Some news out of China today. Earnings for them are the 21st. That's a little over a month away, so we got some time here. That's good. Here's our chart. On the put side, let's see. For November expiration, if you sold the 375 and bought the 370, what do you get? 420 minus 355 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.5% if you sold this spread right here on the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 480 and bought the 485, what do you get? 450 minus 380 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7% if you sold the call side. Or you can sell both the call side and the put side. We'll make a note of Nvidia as well. Next is Abbott, ABT. This is post earnings, I believe. Yes, today before the market opened. On the call side, nothing. On the put side, nothing. Skip. That was a fast one. TRV, Travelers, post earnings. There's going to be nothing here. Let's skip this one. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM. This is not an earnings one. Earnings are tomorrow. So we're going to skip this one. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll take a look at it post earnings and see if there's anything we can do there. AstraZeneca, AZN is next. Down 5% today. Is that today? Yeah, lung cancer trial disappoints. That's why they're down. The earnings are in a couple of weeks, though, so we're awfully close to earnings. Big movement yesterday, big movement today. Let's see what the options market's pricing in. If you sold the 60 and bought the... You'd have to buy the 57.5 because the 55 is too illiquid. There's a 4-cent spread here, but there's a 31-cent spread here, no volume. So let's see if it's worth it. 45 minus 23 divided by 2 divided by 250, 4.4% on the put side. Skip that. On the call side, if you sold the 72.5 and bought this, now skip the call side. Let's move on. ASML. This is today, post earnings and China concerns. Here's our chart. On the put side, we sold the 530, bought the 520. Not a good amount of volume here, but something. Yeah, let's take 515 minus 390 divided by 2 divided by 1,000. That's 6.2% potential return. On the call side, if you sold the 640 and bought the 650, that's 505 minus 365 divided by 2 divided by 1,000, 7% on the nose. The returns look nice. The only problem is it's not as liquid as I'd like. It makes things really hard to roll if you need to roll. Skip this one. Next, JB Hunt. I believe this is an earnings one or no? Yeah, this is an earnings move. It's catching support here at the 200-day moving average. On the put side, yikes, so not enough volume. On the call side, same thing, not a lot of volume. The spreads are too wide, it's too illiquid. Okay, we'll keep Morgan Stanley and Nvidia in mind. Let's look at the TLT and the bond market. continues its move lower, most likely it's going to keep moving down. I've been saying for a while, got to wait for it to get back to its 2007 or previous lows. If we go back to 2007, we're looking at the 82.5, all the way down to 85. It's not there yet. Let's put a note, 82.5. However, if you want to sell calls, on the call side for November expiration, if you sold the 90 and bought the 90, you don't get paid for it if you bought the 94. So if you sold the 90, that's 49 minus 16 divided by 2 divided by 400, 4.1%. Considering it's the bond market and it's an ETF for the bond market, 4% is not that bad. On the put side, if you sold the 79 and bought the 75, that's 53 minus 20 divided by 2 divided by 400, same thing, 4.1%. So both the call and the put side are fairly evenly priced. I wouldn't want to take either side right now. Alright, let's go to our IV rank scanner. And we'll sort by volume. SPY, elevated again. Here's the chart. No bias for the calls or the puts. On the call side, if you want to sell the 455 and buy the 460, what do you get? That's 99 minus 48 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.1% on the nose. I think the call side was higher before, so maybe skip the call side for now. On the put side, if you sold the 414 and bought the 409, 248 minus 194 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.4% on the put side. We checked these a couple days ago, or maybe last week. The return was a lot higher, so maybe, I don't know. Skip this for now. The Qs will be similar. IWM, Russell 2000. All right, let's go through this list. There's going to be a lot of earnings still, so bear with us. Is Tesla after the close today? $18 after the close. Okay, we'll check out Tesla tomorrow. It could go either way, obviously. All right, we'll catch in this one tomorrow. Nikola's $1 stock. We'll skip. Apple on the 2nd. Amazon and Microsoft coming up. AMD probably has earnings soon. We looked at AMD yesterday and we didn't do anything, so let's skip. Gold still is really high. Let's check out the GLD if you want to make a trade. I already am in GLD. Maybe I was in a little too early. Yeah, I'm at the 186, 191. I'm still out of the money, so I'm fine. But if you want to open a new position today, sell the 189. Sell the 189 and buy the 194. That's 124 minus 66. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. Almost 6% return that one. That's really good for gold. Gold rarely moves this much, so when it does have heightened volatility, you got to get into a trade. That's why I'm in this one. So if you want to go out to the 189, 194, I'm in the 186, 191. If you look at the chart, My strike is 186. That's all the way up here. Still got a lot of time. We got, what, 4 weeks? And still a lot of room to run. So, can this move continue? Of course. You probably get paid for the put side now, too. Gold is rarely this interesting, so now's the time. Silver, I'd rather do gold. The XLF, this is going to start coming down as we get more bank earnings out of the way. The big banks are done. We're still waiting for the small banks to go. Morgan Stanley, we already looked at, down 6.4% today. We'll come back to that one later at the end, I think. Bank of America's already reported. Google's on the 24th. Palantir, skip. Meta is on the 25th. The TLT we already looked at. Shopify earnings. UAL we already looked at, down today. American is on tomorrow before the open. We'll follow up tomorrow morning. The GDX. ExxonMobil, we'll get the oils coming up in a week or so. That'll be fun. We tried opening a trade on this one yesterday, but it didn't fill. I think we tried selling the 14 and buying the 12. Let's see. If you sold the 14, that's, sorry, 41. 41 minus 18. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 200. 5.7% return on that one if you sold a $200 wide put spread. If you got a small account, like a less than $1,000 account, you're risking $200 to make $12, but that's a 5.7% return on your investment. That's not bad. On the call side, if you sold the 23 and bought the 25, what do you get? 43 minus 22 divided by 2 divided by 200, 5.2% on the call side. I think we tried opening it at 22 yesterday. That's where it is today. If you got a small account, it's fun. I want to stick with Morgan Stanley, I think. Let's keep going. All right. Disney has earnings on the 8th. We'll skip that. JD, we looked at JD yesterday. They've got earnings coming up. Same thing with Boeing and Google. Procter & Gamble was this morning. We already looked at that. Delta. We're past Delta. So yeah, we're past earnings. It jumped up post earnings. So if you sold the call spread on the day of earnings, good for you. You probably already made money. I wasn't in that one. I wonder why. On the put side now. The 30's too close and the 25's too far away. On the call side. And I don't want to sell the call side. Skip the call side. Still has heightened volatility though. That's good. Earnings. Roku. They must have earnings coming up. Are we in Roku? I am already in Roku. I've sold a 55 and bought the 50. But if you want to jump in, sell the 50 and buy the 45. I think earnings are coming up, though, soon. November 1st. We've got about 2 weeks till earnings. I wouldn't jump in this one now. I'd wait. We'll see what happens here as it approaches the 200-day moving average. It should catch a bounce around here somewhere. But if you're not in it, I'd hold. Down 6.5% today. What are my strikes? Roku. The 55. So 55's down here. I got a lot of room to run still. I'm happy with that. Oxy has earnings. Netflix has earnings tonight, so we'll check in with Netflix tomorrow morning. Hopefully it's a big move. Gold. That's Barrick Gold, not the ETF. SMH. Next page. Abbott we already looked at. I don't know, this one is a $4 stock. We'll skip it. Ford, no. JetBlue, too low. The KRE, talked about the KRE. I'd wait till after the small banks report, and if there's a huge sell-off, then go in and sell puts on the KRE, so we'll wait. Wells Fargo is past earnings as well, but still has some heightened volatility. Let's check that one out. It's coming up here, maybe on the call side. What do you get on the call side? There's nothing on the call side. We'll skip this one. AstraZeneca we already looked at. HYG, skip. The XBI. Let's take a look at that. No earnings for this one. If it gets down to like 64 or so, we might sell something on the put side, but it's not there yet. Kind of in no man's land. Good liquidity. 65's too close, 60's too far away. On the call side, you don't really get paid on the call side. If you sold the 76 and bought the what? 80? Skip this one. Not worth it. Affirm. Nope. USB says earnings in January. Is that right? Did they already report? They were today. All right, so this is a post-earnings move. It's going to move a little bit farther up. Nothing here anyway. Not a lot of liquidity. Anything else here? Schwab must be coming up. Or they already report. Yeah, they already reported. They still have high volatility though, so let's check that one out. SCHW. Earnings are until what, January now? So we don't have to worry about this one. Earnings are January 17th, so we got 3 months of not having to worry about earnings on the put side. You're not going to get paid for it. Maybe. Let's check it out. If you sold the 45 and bought the 40. 40 minus 12 divided by 2 divided by 500. No, horrible. 2.8%. No good. On the call side, if you sold the 57.5 and bought the 62. Nah, skip the call side. Let's move on. Intel has earnings. Taiwan Semi we already looked at. VMware, I think we looked at that one yesterday, but we didn't do anything. VMW. Earnings are November 30th, so that's over a month away. That's good. There's definitely some volatility compared to the last 30 days. If you sold something on the put side, that's why. There's not a lot of liquidity here. If you sold, no, there's no liquidity here. Look at this. It's a $3, $10 spread. Horrible. Next. USO. I'm already an XOP, but let's take a look at USO if you are not. No earnings for oil. This is just an oil. I think this is a future. USO is a mixture of the futures and maybe nat gas. I'm not sure. I don't really trade this one that often. On the call side, if you sold... Oof, liquidity's not great here on the call side. So skip the call side. On the put side, just as bad on the put side. Skip this one. I'm surprised for USO. XOP is better. I think that's why we did XOP. What are my strikes on this one? 160, 165. I got some room here. But on the call side today, did we already look at this one? No. If you want to sell the 167, no, sell the 166. What are you going to buy though? The 170? No, skip this one now. If you're in, good. If you're not, skip it. Snapchat, it's only a $10 stock. We'll skip that. Moderna, earnings on the 2nd. That's a couple weeks out. We'll skip. Cleveland Cliffs earnings. ASML we already looked at. Enphase is coming up next week. SoFi, skip. PayPal is on the 1st. J&J still has heightened volatility even though they are post-earnings. Let's take a look. Earnings are now January. Here's why. So earnings were yesterday, but it's moved down big today. And for Johnson & Johnson, this is a big move. If you sold the 145 and bought the 140, is that worth it? 69 minus 32 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3.7. Skip the put side. On the call side, skip the call side. The 160 is too close, and the 165 is too far out, man. Caterpillar must have earnings coming up. Applied Materials, November 16th. That's about a month away. Freeport's tomorrow morning. We'll follow up tomorrow. Hopefully there's a big move. Let's go back and look at Morgan Stanley. Now, still down 7%. Post earnings. On the put side, what do we say? Sell the 70 and buy the 65? At this point, no on the put side because 70 is too close. Where's 70 on the chart? 70's down here. It's not bad. Damn it. We'll keep Morgan Stanley on the list. We'll follow up in a couple days. How about that? Let's go back to NVIDIA. On the put side for NVIDIA, sold the 370 and bought the 365. Let me do the math really quick. 380 minus 325 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.5%. That's not great for NVIDIA. On the call side, if you sold the 480 and bought the 485, 435 minus 370 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.5% on the call side. Where's 480 on the chart? Damn, it's too close. 480 is right here. You know what? I think we're just going to hold for today. $80 minus 20 by 2 divided by 500, 6.7. Yikes. So if we sold the 370, bought this at 65, 370. Earnings are the 21st. Gives us about a month. We'll check out NVIDIA tomorrow. No trades today. That's okay. We'll follow up on Morgan Stanley and NVIDIA tomorrow. Alright, that'll be it for today. If you like what you saw, make sure you tune in every day, 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. Subscribe and follow along every day. If you got friends that are trading options too, have them follow along every day. We'll make some trades together. You can follow along with my trades as well. Also, like, subscribe, tune in every morning. You'll get alerts if you're subscribed when we go live every morning. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.